Hi there, and welcome to Cosmic Soul Alignment, where we go beyond the veil into the unknown. And I'm very happy that you're here for today's show, where I have two fabulous guests, Bret Hart and Kevin Konkolics, the visionary minds behind the Astral Travelers Institute. And they are dedicated explorers of consciousness and unseen realms, and with a deep understanding of astral projection, metaphysics, and multidimensional awareness, they guide seekers beyond the physical into the vast expanse of the unknown, unlocking hidden potential and expanding the boundaries of human experience. So welcome to you, Brett and Kevin. It's lovely to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
welcome. So it's all so exciting to me. So anything, metaphysical is my passion. I just can't get enough of it. And I can't wait for this conversation. But first, I want to ask you about your journey into astral travel. So, Brett, can you tell us how did you guys meet and what first led you to explore astral projection?
Well, so I grew up in a very religious household. It was a very fundamentalist Christian household, and we were taught vigorously on what the truth is. That's what they would tell us, right? And I never really fully believed in it growing up. And that kind of led me later in life to wonder, okay, what is the truth? Is it something that I can find on my own? Or is it even like possible in the first place? And several years ago, around when COVID started, I got interested in the subject of astral projection, and a lot of young people around that time did too. It seemed to be like everyone's stuck at home and they're trying to search for meaning, and it became a really popular subject online. And a Discord was started around that time, and eventually I was in there. I was learning how to do it. I was able to accomplish it myself. I had a bunch of experiences. I was helping other people, and in comes Kevin, and he's going gung ho about it, super like enthusiastic about the subject, and talking about like the things that he's learned and the things that he's trying, the different techniques, and we just kind of clicked and hit it off. And trying to develop something that makes it easier for other people to do the practice, because there's just a lot of information to go through. But basically, that's how we met, and we decided to start the Astral Traveler Institute and develop a technique and guides that would help other people to accomplish the same feat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, firstly, to understand astral travel, right, the mechanics of it. I mean, there are a lot of people that are unfamiliar, that have never experienced, an out-of-body experience themselves. So how would you explain, Kevin, what is astral traveling?
Oh, this is a great question. In astral travel, all it is, it's a skill that we can develop and what we actually inherit, allowing us to have conscious out-of-body experiences, which allows us to experience different dimensions. In this case, we call it the astral realm, which has its own laws, physics, rules that you have to abide. And it's just a really neat practice to have as a person to experience something that's totally unique, totally different than what you see right now in what we call reality. And that's what astral projection is.
Is anything out of physicality, then anything you can't experience with your physical senses, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because we think what we're experiencing is real, but you can have these other experiences when you go to sleep or when you do meditation or whatever technique you do to get out of body. And those experiences is just as real than what you're experiencing now, if not even realer. Like we like to say, HD, 100% vision. And it just boggles the mind. What does this mean? How does this correlate to my being and my experience in life when I'm having this altered dimension, astral experience out of body? It's just
I
mind
know, it blows the
boggling.
mind. It is, it's absolutely, and I just absolutely love it. Let me ask you, Brett, your opinion. Astral traveling and lucid dreaming, is that the
Mm.
same thing?
We get that a lot. That's like one of the
Okay.
biggest questions, really. And because when you describe it to a lot of people, especially people that don't necessarily believe in it or are skeptical in it, they're like, isn't that just dreaming? Or maybe that's just having a lucid dream. And it's our opinion, and this is the opinion shared by a lot of authors on the subject, that every night we're going out of body, basically, and not realizing it. So what we're trying to do is make ourselves aware during that process or in the middle of it. It doesn't matter. When you're in the middle of it and you gain awareness, that's having a lucid dream, right? You all of a sudden, you're aware that you're dreaming, and then it seems like your consciousness like collapses into that moment, and you are there with just as many senses as me right now talking to you. The difference is, though, and this is where it gets kind of weird, where you are kind of matters. Like, are you in an area that is in the astral and stable, or are you in kind of like a pocket dimension that is feeding off of your own subconscious and creating in front of you dynamically? It's like dynamic changing. So getting there is one thing, and then like trying to discern, okay, what's going on? What am I experiencing is the next step. But basically two sides to the same coin, if I had to put it, simply. We just call it astral projection. We use that label because many people have similar experiences when it comes to, usually like you end up in your room, like as a starting point. And that common starting point, like we usually attribute to astral projection. I've projected out of my body. I'm in like a representation of my room. It's not the real time zone. It's not the here and now. It's just outside of it.
Yes.
But it still seems like my room. So, and a lot of people have had those kind of experiences by accident. Like they'll wake up in the middle of them and they'll be like, what just happened to me? And it's like, it must have been a dream, or like, maybe I should go see the doctor. Something might be wrong. And it's like, so it's a kind of semi-common experience. It's just easy to, doubt, basically.
Yeah,
So.
I know exactly what you're talking about because I have experienced that many, many times, and you all of a sudden find yourself where you think you're in your bedroom, but the door's in a different place, or the chair's on the other side, or the window's on the wrong wall. And that's the subtle differences that you're talking about, right? Because we have just stepped slightly beyond our physical reality into that kind of next realm, and everything is just slightly different.
Yes.
Exactly.
And what we believe from that is that what we're witnessing is a shadow of the real world, or the vibration frequency of that reality. So when you're out of body, your vibration as well, your pure energy. So you're in an energetic environment, and that energy that you're witnessing isn't a one-to-one correlation to the real world. And that's how come we see something a little bit different. It might not be 100% the same, but one thing that's pretty interesting, when people are in these type of environments, even though it looks different, they have a realization, I know the spot. I know where I'm at, even though it looks different.
Yeah.
And that's what we believe is happening, is that mechanism of vibration.
It's just like, feeling when you're having a dream or an astral projection that there's somebody there. You couldn't see that person, but you had the knowing that person was there. Very similar. Yeah, absolutely. I know the whole thing's fascinating to me. I just love it. Skeptics often challenge the legitimacy of astral projection. So what can you say are your validations that prove it's an actual thing, Bret?
Me, let's see. Well, Kevin's had a couple really good ones because he brought back some real world info that he was able to act on.
Love to hear that.
I had one too, but it's something I couldn't act on, but it was very interesting all the same. But people will probably want to hear both. I can go into it really quickly because it's kind of a lengthy thing, but I can just shorten it. There was one time where I wanted to explore the concept of a soulmate. Like, I heard about it, and I'm happily married, but I just like the term. It's like, I'm kind of curious. I just want to see. And in this experience, I like using doors as ways to, and this is another thing, like to travel long distances. You can like shut off your vision and move to a new location. But I like using doors because I can keep my eyes open and just say, on the other side of this door is going to be the destination that I want. And then like I'll go into a tunnel and it'll bend. And like, I love talking about this kind of thing, but that's just a different subject. But it took me into the room of like a kid. And I was like, what's going on? I was super confused. There's this like crying child looking at me. And then it runs around the corner and comes back and older. And it started talking to me. It knew they knew my name. They knew exactly who I was, but I didn't have that feeling of knowing. It's like I don't have the contextual memory. And that's a big problem for everybody. It's like we don't have access to that memory of before right now. So it's like I'm just trying to grasp this person talking to me. They told me their name, which I forgot, unfortunately, immediately after the experience, but the city and the state they were in currently. And so it's like someone that I have a relationship with outside of this life is currently living on the planet, doing their own thing. Like they're living their own life right now, separate from me, and it's no big deal. And they showed me a couple of their past lives at the time too, which like that was another thing that I had to wrap my mind around because they weren't like happy people. Like if you expected, like we would think of a good life as like, well, I'm happy and I'm satisfied and everything. But no, they were really kind of like depressed people or addicts. And I was like, okay, this is strange. But after that experience, I thought about it and it's like they showed me people that they were before that they were the most proud of, that they learned the most from. They went through a bunch of hard times, misfortune, but they were able to grow from it. Right. And they took something back from those experiences. And it made me feel a little bit better. Like, even if we are going through hard times or adversity, that we have the opportunity to learn from it and take something away from it, especially empathy for others that have gone through the same thing. So that's what I was able to take away from that. But yeah, Kevin has a couple good ones too.
Oh, come on. I'm dying to hear it. Right, Kevin?
Yeah. And one that like stands out in this situation is that, of course, I was out body doing what I do. Bret mentions doors. I like mirrors. Once you do this consistently, you will have your own preferences, your own abilities to do what you want to do. So I go through the mirror and I end up in a room with my parents. But my parents looked young, but I knew who they were. And I started asking questions. And that's probably the number one thing I love doing is asking questions to these entities. And I start asking, hey, Mom, how old are you right now? I'm just curious. How old are you? She tells me she's 19. Hey, Dad, how old are you right now? 28. Okay, cool. Thanks. Good to see you guys. I'm going to go off, continue my astral adventure. The next day, I had to validate. I had to look into this. And I called my parents up and says, hey, Mom, when you're dreaming, when you're visualizing yourself, how young do you see yourself without stopping? 19. Kevin, I see myself as 19. That's how I see myself. Hey, Dad, what about yourself? How do you visualize yourself when you dream? How old are you? Like late 20s, like about my late 20s, 27, 28. And I just blew my mind. And I told them the experience I had. And here's the thing, Dawn. This isn't the first time I had experiences like this. I use this knowledge, this skill set to ask like my partner, my wife, medical questions, relationship questions. So I was already accustomed to understanding if you ask the right questions to the right person in this environment, you will get valid responses. But again, it's one thing to say it, but once you experience it, it's just mind-boggling. And
I know it is.
it's true.
And it just touching really on what you said there, once you experience it, I think people are looking for scientific validation, and you can't really, because it's above the confines of science, right?
Yes.
I think that when you have experienced something like this, you then have that experience, you then have the knowledge, you're gaining understanding, which is creating your wisdom. And I think then that has to be your validation, because not everybody is going to experience the same thing. It's going to be completely different, but that doesn't make it not right or non-existent.
Hmm.
Once you experience it, you know, without a shadow of a doubt,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
Bret can attest to this. The number one thing we get from skeptics or people trying to learn, why don't you write down a number and I'm going to project and I'm going to read that number. And if I can read it, I know it's real. And going back to what you just said, Don, like that's not how some of this stuff works.
No.
Bret
Yeah.
mentioned the near time zone. There's a reason for that, and there's a reason why we vibrate at a higher frequency to see an energetic environment where we're out of body. But what you mentioned on, I love it. Once you're consistent, and
Yeah.
that's what Bret and I's mission was to do, develop a system that's easily attainable by anyone. You start to develop discernment,
Mhm.
experience, confidence, and now you can start to discern what's real, what's not real. Am I projecting? Am I not? But again, it's consistency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing it very regularly. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about safety, misconceptions, challenges around astral traveling. Because there's a lot of myths, isn't there? Some believe it's dangerous, others think that it's just in our imagination. So what are the biggest misconceptions or myths that you've encountered and probably just wish they would go away already? So how do you address them? Let's start with you, Kevin.
Well, the one thing I can mention here is whatever you think, you're right. If you're going to run into a vampire, something scary, you're right. You're probably going to do that. But if you think, hey, I'm confident, I'm going to have an amazing experience with love and joy, with intention, you're also right. And that's the biggest misconception. It's mental, it's vibration, it's energy, it's intention. We already mentioned the astral realm is energetic base. Everything you see is energy.
Yeah.
When you're out of body, you are energy in this energetic realm. And intentions is what drives energy. Even now, in this physical world we live in, your intentions will drive what's happening to you right now and what will happen to you tomorrow. But in the astral realm, it's that same concept by 100 degrees.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
that little tension, that little intention will grow into something significant. So it's really when you go out body or during that transitional phase, you got to be positive, open minded, and willing to be curious of what's on the other side of the veil. And if you do that, which again might take time or consistency, you will never have a quote unquote bad experience per se. You won't have an experience where there's a monster coming to get you, trying to kill you or take you away or try to jump into your body while you're out of way.
Uh-huh.
Not at all. Not
That
at
was
Hmm.
one
all.
I was going to ask
Yeah.
you about. Yeah, because
That
it's
was a
true.
big
It's all
one.
about your beliefs and your expectations, isn't it? If
Yes.
you expect or you
Yes.
carry the worry of, oh my goodness, somebody's going to take me and snap my cord and I'll never get back into my body. If you believe that, then you're just going to worry yourself. I mean, what's the point? Uh,
100%.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Can I
Like
just
attracts like, basically.
Yeah, very
Yes.
true. Just can I touch on something you said there, Kevin? You talked about the transitional phase. Are you talking about when you are separating from your body? Is that what you were talking about? Can I just ask you
Yes.
what your experience is of that? I find mine are very, very similar, but they're different every time. It's like
Yes.
a
Hmm.
fluttering. I find everything goes really quiet, everything goes really dark. There's no chaos in my mind anymore. And then I get the fluttering. I describe it like
Yes.
a hummingbird's wings, and like all. I would say that physically, I sense that every cell is vibrating really, really
Oh.
fast and really high, and then all of a sudden, I feel that it's like a pop I get, and then the vibration calms down, and then I seem to be off doing whatever it is that I'm doing. Do you experience something similar?
You you nailed it, Don. You nailed it. So you must be having a real
Hey.
experience.
Yeah.
But yes, the transitional phase when your physical and your astral body is in the process of separating, everyone's different. However, there are common variables. For me specifically, One, yes, I will feel vibration
Yes.
extremely. In the beginning, it would throw me off. I was like, what's happening? And now I start to think, blah, blah, blah. But another common one is loud noises. As I'm in the process of coming out, I'll hear screaming, a small room
Oh,
with people just shouting.
really?
And in the beginning,
Wow.
it was just scary. In the
I
beginning,
could
because
imagine. I've
it
never
was
Yeah.
had the
scary.
noises right enough. Yeah.
Yes. And the
Right.
opposite of that would be whispering. As I'm
Oh,
separating, I would hear whispers. And the shouting, I can't hear like what they're making out,
Right.
but the whispers, he's separating. Watch it. Oh my gosh, what's happening? Those are probably the top three experiences I have when I'm in the process of separating.
okay. I think I intend to have some whispering the next time I separate. That's what I'm going to have.
Yes.
Brett,
There's,
what's your experience of
well,
separation?
I wanted to bring up conversely, I've never experienced vibrations ever.
Really?
So yeah, and that's something that comes up a lot, and that's another kind of
Oh,
myth I want to bring up too with
yeah.
people.
Please.
That some people, when they're new to this, they expect that they have to hit the vibrational stage in order to get out of body at all. And it's kind of like you're setting up a roadblock for your own subconscious
Yeah.
because you're on the lookout for something that may not come. You may have passed it and you didn't realize it, but because vibrations didn't happen, you lose out on the experience. For
Yes.
me, sounds, it's usually sounds. I have a weird thing with, it's like always weird noises, like the jet engine roaring in my ears, but like it's not hurting my ears. I'll hear people talking, but you can't understand what they're saying. A lot of like kind of weird tones going in and out. It sounds a lot like, sometimes it sounds like, do you remember in movie theaters when they tested the sound system, that THX? And it was like, it's like this
Oh, yes.
sound
Uh-huh.
it's like the beginning of that. Seriously, if you look up THX sound effect, it sounds just like that sometimes, or like a radio station sound. It's like it's really random, but lots of strange noise. It's very weird, and then you'll feel like I'll feel like I'm floating. Right? It kind of has that you're in your energetic body,
Yeah.
and it feels different from the physical body, but it's really hard to pin down exactly the differences between it, which is strange. It's just the memory of the experiences. It uses dream recall. So if you can exercise your ability to remember your dreams better, you will remember your astral projections better, those experiences better. So, but yeah, those are my main ones. It's like I'm tumbling. That's how I'll have that kind of feeling, almost like if you've drank a bit and close your eyes and you get that kind of dizzy headed feeling, like you're kind of buzzed, that kind of feeling too. It's really weird. Yeah, a lot of collection of different things. But like you said, it's different every time. I
Yes.
couldn't
Yes.
tell you
It
that
is
it's exactly
different.
the same every time. There's always something strange and different. So you kind of have to just, go in without an expectation of exactly what it's going to be and just kind of let go
Mhm.
and experience it, knowing that you will get out. Just like you did. It's like you felt the fluttering, and it's like you're just like, okay, and then
Just
you
relax.
automatically, you relaxed and you just automatically did it. It's a
Yeah.
natural process. You just exited, and then that feeling, that vibration feeling, went away because now you are in that this other space.
Yeah.
And that's like our advice too, is like when you're in that moment, you need to let go and not try so hard. You just let
Yeah.
it do what
Just
it
surrender to
wants
it.
to
Yeah.
do.
Just
Yeah,
relax. Go with the flow. Yeah.
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah. So let me ask you both, when I have that separation, I'm always off down wormholes. I don't know why, but they're always different and they're always at different frequencies. I always see different colors. Sometimes I only go through one, sometimes I go through several, and every time it changes, the vibration changes and the noise
Mhm.
change. Do you have something similar? Do you think that's maybe going through some dimensions or
Probably.
yeah,
Yeah, I think you're
that's how
traveling
I
farther than I
believe it
have.
to be.
Look, because the analogy I like to use pretty often is that of radio waves. So right now we're tuned into ERTH FM, Earth, right? And as you turn that dial, you are moving in 4 dimensions.
Yeah.
So your energetic body is moving to, like who knows what exists on each one of those frequencies, right? A whole universe or bigger of stuff is in each frequency. And I think you're with your wormholes, right? You are traveling long distance to who knows what, but usually wormholes, like tunnels. It's not an illusion. It's more like a metaphor, like a representation of
Mhm.
travel. A lot of people go through that. So you're not
Yes.
alone when it comes to that. But yeah, you just got to
Yeah.
hold on like something's taking you somewhere. But
Yeah.
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 I've been going with it, and just
hmm
ending up
Yeah.
somewhere because just all of a sudden it stops and you think, okay,
Yes.
where am I? Show me around. It's fascinating and I love it. And I try to initiate it very, very regularly, but it just seems to work more. It seems to work better naturally, when I'm not thinking about it sometimes,
Mhm.
and I just relax. It more when I'm physically tired.
Okay.
Um, and so.
So are you relaxing into it and then it happens? Like were you awake and then you lay down and then your body's falling asleep? Like
Yes,
meditating kind
that
of?
seems to be what it's like, yeah.
Wow. That's
Hmm.
you're going out direct. That's pretty
Oh,
rare. Yeah, that's actually kind of
Yes.
rare
what
among
is that? What do you
uh,
mean by going out
It's
direct?
yeah.
there's different methods of out of
Okay.
body, and the one we teach is an indirect method.
Yeah.
So a lot of people want to get out the way that you're doing it
Mhm.
because it feels like you
It's
have more
cool.
control, right? Like it's like I want to go out of body now. I'm just going to go in my room and lay down, and I just do it. So that's like the gold standard. Like everybody wants to be able to do that, where you're getting to a place of mind awake, body asleep.
Hmm.
You lay down, and that's why you said it's easier to do when your body's more tired. So you're keeping your awareness active while your body is falling asleep, going into that paralysis state that everybody goes through every single night, but you are aware this time. And
Hmm.
that's when you get that, you go through the vibration stages, you're going through that stage of separation that everybody goes through, but you're awake for it. So that is something it's hard for me. I can get close. And this is the
Yeah.
hard thing about direct methods. Most people, like 90%, it's like close but no cigar. You start to feel kind of weird, like, oh, my body's really heavy, or I'll feel like an energy center in my chest is just going boom, 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 boom. And it's like, okay, all these weird effects, but you have to just relax. And for some people, it's hard to relax. And
It
it,
Yeah.
is.
it varies. It depends on how much time it takes, right? So indirectly is methods that take advantage of your sleep cycle. So you're already you're coming in or falling into sleep where your body is already close to being into that body asleep paralysis state.
Yeah.
And you're just banking on being able to be aware, uh, having a good moment to gain awareness, and then you take off from that paralysis state. But yeah, that's amazing that you're able to go out direct because that's for most people really tough. So yeah,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often, but I have done it several
Yeah.
times, which has been, yeah, and it seems to be more vivid when that happens.
Mm.
More,
Yeah.
I remember a lot more clearly. I can see a lot clearer. And I seem to move a lot faster as well.
Hmm.
That's, I know, very interesting. I didn't know about direct and indirect. That's
All
very
right.
interesting.
Yeah.
I've really learned that today. That's great. Listen, we're going to take just a quick break. So bear with us. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
Cosmic Soul Alignment, we have Bret and Kevin today from Astral Traveler Institute having a great conversation. So I want to jump right back in. Let's navigate a little bit the astral realms. And I know you've talked about, a couple of your experiences. But for people that haven't experienced that and based on, your students and what they've reported back, Kevin, can you tell us what kind of experiences people can expect?
Well, when you have a conscious out-of-body experience, you're going to have an experience that is going to feel similar to the real world because what you're visualizing is real and it's going to look 100% HD vision. However, you're going to have different abilities that you won't have in the real world because again, we've been talking about this again, is energy. We're already energetic beings having a human incarnation, but once you're out body in an energetic environment, you are living that energetic side of you, experiencing energetic events. So the most common thing that makes astral projection is that you will be in environments that look very similar to the real world. We mentioned this already, might not be one-to-one. However, that is just a starting point. From there, we talked about different techniques. You mentioned like a wormhole. Bret mentioned doors. I like to do mirrors to allow you to progress in this environment. We can go forward or backwards, or we can go higher. And when we say higher, we're talking about like raising your vibrations to have a different experience within an environment that vibrates even at a higher frequency. And because we're out body in this real world, this real experience, there's other beings in this environment. There's a lot of correlation when you hear psychics and mediums and clairvoyants. They're actually connecting into the astral realm. And when we die, there's a lot of talk about our souls pass through the astral realm. So you're in this environment where a lot of people are gathering information from, but you're experiencing it one-to-one, first degree. So yes, you will experience experiences with other people, astral, other entities, beings. Ask them questions. And from here, you can go higher to like angelic realms or a more higher vibration realms where you are more energetic vibrating, where you have vision that's 360 around you, and you start to see beings that are just energy without a physical form. It's like playing multiplayer, like a multiplayer game. It's a sandbox, and it's your intentions, your desires, your mission. That's what's going to help guide your sandbox experience. And it's really coming down having like a goal. And that's what Bret and we teach at Astral Traveler Institute, having goals. Because if you're out body and you don't have a goal, more often than not, it's not going to last that long. You're going to get sucked back to your body. But if your goal is to meet my spirit guide, to experience the astral energetic copy of a friend, is to see myself in a mirror, to eat something, then you can travel within the sandbox and have these experiences. So that's what you can start to gauge and what kind of type of experiences you can experience while you're out of body.
So set your intentions, then decide what it is that you want, have the goals that you want to reach, and don't worry about anything dangerous out there.
Yeah. Keep it simple to start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely in the beginning, like it's like, okay, I want to see my room, start simple, baby steps, right?
Yeah.
Because you got to get a feeling for what it feels like. It feels weird. If I had to use one word, it's strange. It's very strange. But I was going to mention too, like when I began to do it, it's a spectrum. It's definitely a huge spectrum of experiences. More likely than not, it's like a kiddie pool, like you're getting your feet wet in the beginning, right? Like my first ones, I was in, like, I just like cartoon drapes opened up and I could see my room. Everything was kind of blue, like it's just a blue twilight emanated from everything, even though there was no source of the light, which is like super hard to describe.
Yeah.
I just looked at my arm and I was like, oh, weird. And then it went translucent, my arm. And I was like, oh, whoa. And then, so I'm just right laying in my bed. And then I felt like I was watched. And this is something that can happen sometimes. Like I've had a few experiences like this starting out where it felt like something was observing me. You can just tell. It's like a feeling. Everything there runs on thought and emotion and feeling. And you can just like, okay, something's watching me. And then I remember yelling out, I was like, I want to get up. And then I hear this voice that sounded kind of like tired with me. It's like, get up. It's like, get up, idiot. And I'm like, oh, and I was just laying there. I'm like, make my arm come back. And then I woke up. There's your arm, wish granted. But
Yeah.
so starting off, it's kind of like that. You expect to see your room a bit often in the beginning,
Yep.
until you get the hang of it. And I think that's kind of by design sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was observed. I think we stick out like sore thumbs when we do this. It's like obvious that we're doing something. So something's coming over or your spirit guide is watching you, which I feel like is kind of like a humanitarian kind of job that they do on the side. They volunteer, like, okay, they're doing it. Yeah, let's make sure that they don't ruin everyone else's experience by going crazy or something.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a lot of your room. I went to a lot of Earth-like types of places, and it's almost like here. It's really strange. It's like here, crowded, crazy architecture. You can fly, which feels amazing. A lot of people without any inhibitions or fear of time or death. That's what it feels like. I went to like a spring break dimension for a couple days, and that place was crazy. But yeah, it's like, and it feels nice. Like if I had to take my big takeaway from the experience, all of these experiences combined, is kind of a reduction in my fear of death. And it feels like, okay, I'm definitely, there's something more than just me. Like there's a greater sum of myself. And even sometimes I feel it. Cause like one time I was in the astral and I met my spirit guide. I had them appear before me. Poof. It was a dapper dressed black man with like a black or a white beard in like a 1920s tweed suit. And we just hugged. And when you talk about knowing, right? That a deep knowing, I had this knowing coming from me that this person is my friend and I know them. Mm-hmm. But the weird thing was I had no contextual memory of how or why I know this person. I just feel in the core of my being that they're a buddy of mine. Mm-hmm. And that's why we hugged. And it's like, I didn't even feel like the need to ask any questions for some reason. It's like, it just took over me.
It's like a comfort feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, comfort.
Well, I'm going to have a talk with them because right before that, I had to go through a fear test to even talk to him to make sure, like, there's fear tests sometimes to make sure you're chill enough to ride the ride, right? To make sure that you can control your emotions. If emotions can affect the space around you, then it makes sense that they want to make sure that you can control yourself if you're going to go in other inhabited areas, right? They don't want you running amok. But yeah, he did that, and then he took me to that spring break dimension and dropped me off and kind of ditched me. So I'm going to have a word with him next time I see him, But yeah, it's like if your imagination can think it up, it's probably exists somewhere there. So when you talk about what experiences you can have, I mean, infinite
Endless.
is almost
It all depends on your intentions, like I said, but also just to finalize something you had said, you'd said about there are rules. And you always get what you ask for, I think is what you said. You always get what you ask for. And I discovered that probably after about 3 or 4 different attempts where I would go through the separation and I would be, wandering through the house, and then I'd come back into the bedroom and I'd see myself lying in bed and I'd go, oh, there's me lying in bed, right back into my body. And a few other times it happened, I would look at myself and I would instantaneously come straight back into my body. Whereas now I have the understanding that what you focus on happens immediately. There is no time lapse for manifestation in those realms. And I find that if I just realize where I am and I don't look at myself, it lasts so much longer.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. And I think there's something weird too when it comes to perception there. Like when you focus on something, it's like you're connecting energy between you and the thing that you're focusing on. And that can also kind of like suck you back into your body. Even thinking about your body remotely will start the
Yes.
process of waking back up,
Yeah.
which also feels weird. It's like I'm tunneling and wake up. But you're absolutely right. Yeah. And that's another thing that people are afraid of, right? Like, what if I get lost? You know, what if like I'm kept from my body? It doesn't seem to happen. Like even people that have long experiences, they end up going back. You are intrinsically connected to your physical body at this moment. You'll always be able to find your car, basically. So, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Have you ever then asked, set your intention before you go to sleep and asked to meet a specific being? Have you ever done that, and did it happen, Kevin?
Oh
You're
yeah,
nodding. Tell me.
absolutely. There's been times where my wife would be like, "Hey, find my astral copy and ask these specific questions so I can understand my health, our relationship." Another was, I just like Brett, I want to meet my spirit guide, and it took a couple tries, but I eventually found him, and he was like an average dude. We were in a tall structure, kind of looked like a stadium overlooking the middle, tons of people, and he was actually surprised. He's like, "Wow, you found me, like, good for you, like, so what do you want to do?" And that's where I got zapped back. And our latest project is me trying to reach out to Brett, ask him some questions. I did have an experience, but it's
I
hard
don't
to
think it was me.
articulate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It could have been a lucid dream. It might not have been him, because he did give me some questions, and I was unable to validate those questions with Brett.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sus, but again, it's intentions. Everything's intention. So you can find those people. And real quick here, Dawn, I actually met a relative who passed away. You know, believe it or not, it wasn't like a real intention. Hey, I want to meet this person. My intention was I'm going to have an out body experience and see where the astral winds takes me. And I jumped through a mirror, did some stuff, and eventually ended into a open environment looking for some friends of mine at the time, until I heard someone, "Kevin, I'm over here. I'm over here." And in that type of environment, having 100 HD vision, I was able to zoom in, see the person, and instantly teleport to that person. And it was a relative who passed away. And I articulate my love, my gratitude to the person. "Hey, I miss you. I love you." And that person mentioned the same thing. "Hey, Kevin, I'm always here with you. I'm watching you." And we hugged, and it felt super real. If I had any trauma related to that event, I can definitely tell you I had closure with the death and with that relative. And he said, "Okay, Kevin, you continue with your adventure. I'll keep watching you." And we parted ways, and I continued. So you do have that ability to find relatives, or even people from history. If you want to meet like Albert Einstein, for example, you do have that ability, because you mentioned it a little bit, Don, but you didn't use the words. Energy transcends time and space. There is no such thing as time and space within the astral realm. So if you want to go back to see how the pyramids were made, you have that ability, and you could actually do if you had that intention. And so it's really, again, you're playing an open sandbox game with multiplayer. And it's really you as a person. What are you trying to accomplish? What do you want to experience, to see, to understand? So it's really very personalized experience that we can all experience.
And other beings have the ability to find you as well. As I found out, 2012, my grandmother passed, and it was during the night. It was like 1 or 2 a.m. my time. And I remember waking up really, really quickly, but feeling like I was getting pulled from my body. And then all of a sudden, I could feel myself getting pulled. And then she spoke to me. It was her voice. I couldn't see her, but it was her voice. And she told
Yes.
me that she was ready to go, and that was her going. She was with her husband. She was with my grandfather. And she
Amen.
says, I want you to tell this to your mum. And I said,
Wow.
okay, I'll tell her, love
Wow.
you, going to miss you, but you're fine now. Everything's going to be great. And then all
Amen.
of a sudden, I woke up in my bed. My mother came in. I was staying with my mother at the time. She came through into the bedroom and told me that she'd just got the phone call. I said, I know, because she was just here talking to me.
Oh, wow.
Amen.
And so, of course, she felt quite comforted by that, I think. But it was an
Yes.
amazing experience. That wasn't the first time
Awesome.
that happened.
Yes.
But yeah, it's very comforting to know that that can happen, that you're approachable when things
Yes.
like that happen. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
felt really, yeah, I can't
Yeah.
think of the
So
word how I felt, but
yeah, so to reinforce what you're saying here, Don, it's been shown many, many, many times that our loved ones come to us through dreams. Because
yeah,
again, we're half one step in the astral, one step here in the physical. That veil that we all hear, it's very loose and translucent. So it's been shown that our spirits or guides or entities will come to us during dreams. But now that you're out body, in a in an energetic world, being an energetic being yourself, now that's 10 times more potent
yeah,
to see and experience and interact with those spirits that are trying to come to you through dream. Now they're coming to you directly out
yeah.
body.
I
You
know,
can
isn't
go
that
find them at
amazing?
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're so powerful. We don't understand how
Oh,
powerful we
yes,
are, and the things that we
yes,
can do. We've just totally forgotten that we can do them. And
yes.
we just need to remember. The word I was going to use there was relearn, but no, we just need to remember how to do it. We already know how to
Yes.
do it. We just
Rem-
have to remember
yes.
that.
Hmm.
Remember
Yeah.
to remember. We got to
Remember.
remember to
Yeah.
remember. Because
Yeah.
one thing we get a lot, I can't AP, I can't project. Only specific people can project, or I need to be spiritual and meditate and clear my
Yeah.
chakras. The thing is, you are inherent with this ability. It's a skill that you can do right now. It
Yeah.
has no correlation to your spirituality or to your chakras. Sure, that would help and all, but you don't need it. And
Yep.
it's a skill you can learn, and have that ability since birth. We
Hmm.
are spiritual beings having a human incarnation, and
Yes.
having a conscious out of body experience is something that we were born with, but we forgot. So you got to
Yeah.
remember to remember.
Yeah, it's an innate ability of every one of us, isn't
Yeah.
it? Mm.
We're
Yes,
doing it every
amen.
night. Yep.
Yes, we
Yes,
are. Hmm.
yes.
Okay. All right, we've got a few minutes left, so I know that you have something that you want to offer the viewers if they're interested in developing this. So, Brett, will you tell us a little bit about what you have available?
Yes, we have a code for you, for all of your wonderful viewers, Cosmic Soul 10 on our website. If you go to astraltravelerinstitute.com, or you can check out was it QR code? Is that what they're called? I can't remember, but
Yes, it's a cure.
it's it'll give you 10% off anything on the site. We also have our blueprint, our flagship course is completely free. The Wake to Projection Blueprint. It has everything you need in it as well to be able to go out of body. And with tools as well that you can download and use. So yeah, please come by.
That's
We want to get
amazing.
together a massive group of people that is able to go out of body, and then we can start working on different targets, go back in time, see if everybody sees the same thing, start correlating data, and bring back real world info. That'd be awesome.
Yes.
Count me in for that one. Okay, so just to finish up, we've just got a few minutes left, but for the next year, what's next for Astral Traveler Institute? What are you going to be doing? What projects are you working on? Can you tell us a little bit about that, Brett?
Let's see. I just put out new audio for the blueprint, and I'm working on that right now. Put it out a guided version of our bridge timer. So a timer that you use since we focus on indirect methods, you use this in the early morning. So you wake up and then use this timer, and it's supposed to wake you up in your REM period. So people like you that can go out direct don't have to worry about that as much. But hey, maybe it might be even easier for you. When in the REM period, you have an easier time of waking up into paralysis. So you're going to use that as a jumping off point to go out of body. So I've been working on a guided version of that to kind of let you know all the set intentions, affirmations, what goals you want in the beginning. I just released that. We have a bunch extra audio tracks for our members and those who purchased the foundation course. I'm going to be updating those as well. Putting out some new articles, and the hot topics that everyone asks about. We'll find out some new stuff. I have some up there right now for viewing, but and eventually, hopefully, a third course in the future. That's what we're aspiring to.
Yep, and as well, that also mentioned like live workshops or live training coaching. Live sessions. We do see there's a need for that, and we do get people say, "Hey, these videos are great, but hey, can you do this in person?" So I think that would be a part of the next evolution with ATI as well.
Excellent. And just quickly, do you guys practice this every single night? Is it something you do every single night when you get into bed?
No.
In the beginning, it was.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was, until this is just my story, until I understood that I could do it every other day and still be successful. Because for whatever reason, we're still trying to understand the mechanism. There is a energy component. So when I was doing it every day or attempting to do it every day, I did notice that my fuel, my energetic component was being depleted, which inhibit me from doing it the next day and the next day and the next day. Now for me specifically, I do it 3 times a week spread out. And I notice I have great success, but I'm blessed. I have a child, a newborn, so the sleeping and trying to do it every single night or 3 to 3, it's not consistent.
Sometimes you need your sleep.
Yes, but I am blessed. But when I do it, it does work, and that's a whole conversation.
I find that if I stop being so determined and stop pushing, when you're determined, and I find that's resisting the natural flow. So I find like ease, take my foot off the gas pedal and just, ride the wave, and it usually works great. I just wondered, what about you, Bret?
There's a sweet spot for it. Life can definitely get in the way of this practice, though, because a lot of it, since so much of it is mental, a lot of it is kind of training your subconscious with intentions and affirmations, because, you're putting, it's still effort, right? It might not be a lot of physical effort, but you're still exercising kind of an invisible muscle. Yes. And it's just like the gym, it's like you have to put the effort in to exercise it, and then you start to see results over time. A lot of people usually stop before that happens, before they see results. But in the same vein as a muscle, if you stop that consistent, it kind of slips back down, and you start forgetting like what it was like, and then you have to get back on the horse again. So I'm kind of in that slump right now, just because you get distracted with life, and it's like you kind of forget, like what exactly did it feel like? But I know it's always there. It's just getting over that, everyone, that fear of unknown, everybody has to go through that too.
Yeah. But we're also here to live as well. We're also here to have this physical experience. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So it's a trade-off. Yeah. But doing it every day, no, we don't recommend that either, because we want you to have good sleep, especially since this practice kind of like wants you to go to bed a bit early and wake up a little bit early. So it's not something you can do back to back to back. But have a couple times a week, be perfect. But at least set your intentions when you go to bed.
Yes.
Those intentions.
Well, honestly, we're right out of time. I would love to continue talking, so I could talk to you guys for hours. I want to say thank you so much. You really brightened my day with this conversation. I've had a great time. Let's have you back if you guys are up for that.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Take care and see you next time.
Yep.